going on? What is up, LA? This is your host, Ray El Barbon, and Audel del Toro coming at you with episode 2 of the Showtime Forum podcast. We're here, man. We're back again. You know, I guess we were good enough to make the second cut, so here we are. Unfortunately, we want to lead off with a little bit of a sour note. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it now, but Nipsey Hussle passed away recently. I believe actually March 31st, which was, Saturday, I believe, right? Or Sunday.
It was Sunday.
Yeah, so he passed away Sunday. Unfortunately, was just kind of the victim of an idiot, to be honest with you. And I know for me, I'm not going to say I was the biggest Nipsey Hussle fan, but I definitely was a fan for sure. But I know for you, he played a bigger role for you for sure in your life, right?
Oh yeah, no, he the music he made was a real inspiration for me. I don't even know how to say it. Like, I can't compare it to when Tupac passed away in '96. I think it was '96. I was a lot younger, so
yeah,
I kind of didn't hit that much. But this one hurts. Like, I could feel it big time. Like, there was times where I was going through it. Like, I was, going through whatever it was that I was going through, and I would listen to his music, and it was motivating and it was inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it definitely hurts a lot, and I know all of Los Angeles is feeling it big time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because honestly, for me, I've always been aware of Nipsey Hussle, and obviously I'm 35, so I think Nipsey was about 33, right? I think when he passed away. Just kind of relate to a lot of the struggles that he was going through. You know, I grew up in South Central. I grew up off 78th and Hoover. So I grew up in the hood. You know, a lot of people wouldn't know that, but I did grow up in the hood. I know the struggle. And the thing that I think connected the most with me, and I think with a lot of people, was the fact that Nipsey he was a very organic person. He was a very genuine person, but he didn't fake the funk. He wasn't sitting here trying to put extras on it. He said it what it was. He was proud of his community. He was proud of the hustle. He was proud of the struggle. He was proud of the story.
Yeah.
You know, that it took to kind of get to where you need to go, right? But I think that's why a lot of people really just were attracted to him. For me, I did like his music. I'm not gonna lie, but I've had kids for last decade or so. So a lot of the stuff that Nipsey was putting out, I couldn't sit there bumping around my kids. But there are a lot of tracks that I've liked. But I think for me, when I really became a big fan was when I kind of got to know a lot more about his business ventures and his humanitarian side. Because honestly, to me, I haven't heard it too much, but to me, I think he was a humanitarian. Maybe not in the sense where he was active globally, but locally he definitely was. And he was all about bringing his people up and rising to the top and bringing as many people as he could with him. But I think at this point it would be fair just to say that we should maybe just have a moment of silence for him right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, Nipsey's gone, and it's really up to us to kind of just continue the marathon, as he says, right? So, there's not much I could say, man, that hasn't been said already. He was a big leader in the community right now, and his presence is definitely going to be missed. Maybe not so much as by us, as more of his family and his friends, his close friends, but even then, his impact was so strong. I have a buddy of mine who's actually Ethiopian who was telling me that Nipsey back in his home country of I believe it's Equatorian, I believe is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I might be butchering it, but it's a small country in Africa that shares a border with Ethiopia. But he was kind of telling me a little bit about it, how Nipsey really was he was a big deal back home, even though I think he just recently returned to his roots and kind of learned about his country, and I think went back home to kind of experience that. But he was telling me that back home that he's a big deal, even though he's recently just kind of migrated back to kind of experience his homeland. But they were saying that he was a huge deal, and that people in the community knew him. People in the Equatorian, and I think I'm butchering that, but in the Equatorian community really did value him and really did feel the impact. And we're talking about in Africa.
Yeah.
We're talking about a dude who, maybe a lot of people in the Midwest aren't familiar with Nipsey, but that kind of tells you just how big of an impact he had when his ventures locally were being felt, across the world.
Big time. And it sucks because it's over something so petty, and it was a guy that was just a bum loser that just had envy and hate in his heart. To go back and go into Nipsey's store that he built, that he bought, he bought that whole center and Slauson, and to go back there and shook their hand and then go back and shoot him, like,
Yeah.
You gotta have hate in your heart for that, man. Like I'm they're saying he was crazy or whatnot, but I just still I don't understand why Nipsey, like of all people, like he was one of the most beloved hip hop entrepreneurs out there right now. Like
Yeah.
the stuff he did for Los Angeles, he got the Bloods and Crips together, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just unbelievable. And I'm sure the marathon will continue, and I know his brother and everyone else is gonna keep it going. And the marathon store, I'm sure, will still be there.
Yeah.
It's just a travesty. So, man, it
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah, I was hearing. I think it was his business partner that I was listening to an interview where he was saying that they had just purchased the property or whatever, the building there, and he was just kind of telling a little bit about their story about coming up. But he was saying that the homeboy who shot him, that I guess he was an aspiring rapper as well, and he
Yeah,
he specifically said that he was just another hater rapper who was just envious and just full of jealousy.
yeah,
And that's unfortunate for sure. But it's just it kind of just puts everything in perspective for you. Because to me, I mean, this came out of left field, and like I said, I wasn't the
totally.
biggest Nipsey fan, but to me, this is going to magnify his platform tenfolds, a lot quicker than obviously if he was still around. And I'm not saying that it was right and all that, but I'm just saying, like, his presence is going to be felt regardless if he's gone, and it's not
Yeah,
going to stop at all. And luckily for him, he was a smart cat, so I'm sure his family will be well taken care of and all that. But it's a sad day in LA for sure. It's a sad day for Laker fans. Honestly, name one guy who repped the Lakers and the Clippers and didn't get any flack for it. He's one of the few guys that I saw repping both
yeah.
squads, and I never really heard much beef from anybody from either fan bases. So
Yeah, no, he repped LA hard. I
yeah,
don't think anybody else repped LA like he did. I mean, Snoop Dogg is on another level, but
yeah.
yeah, no, he repped Clippers and Lakers, and he didn't get nothing. No flack for that.
No, yeah, for sure. But it's a sad day in LA, but I mean, we're just gonna have to push forward, and like he said, we're just gonna have to we're gonna have to just continue the marathon for him.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, him being a Clipper and a Laker fan, he would probably have like he'd have a very good input as far as the Zubac trade, right, with the Lakers and the Clippers. Obviously, a lot of people on the Lakers side are very upset that Zubac was dealt, and it is what it is now. He's gone. He's on a great team. I got nothing but love for Zoo, and I don't wish him any harm or anything like that, but I know there was a couple of quotes I put out this week where people were kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say they were trying to twist him up a little bit, but
For sure. Yeah.
and I think you have a couple of the quotes, right?
Yeah, I got him. A bunch of fans have come up to me and they say, "Why did we trade you?" The Lakers front office did the biggest mistake, Zubac told the Orange County Register. Everyone's like, "We miss you." And I always say, "I'm on a better team now. You don't have to be sad for me." And I always make sure to tell them, "Check our game out if you want to see good basketball."
Yeah.
And then he says, "I was taught to hate the Clippers, since I was with the Lakers. So I never liked the Clippers before. But since coming over, it's been amazing. The team, the franchise, the organization is like a family, a big family. Everyone's so close, and it's been awesome."
Yeah, I mean, to me, seeing Zoo for the last couple years and just kind of seeing how his personality was, I didn't take it as a slight. I know since he's left the Lakers, they have tried to spin every little quote as him, talking smack and putting the Laker franchise down or whatnot. But I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. Zoo's a good player. He's a smart cat. But I don't think he would sit there and burn a bridge like that, especially knowing that at the end of the year, he might not even return to the Clippers,
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think Zubac meant it in a malicious way or kind of putting the Lakers down or saying the Clippers are better. I think he was trying to get LA fans to kind of go over to the Clipper side and go watch them in the playoffs and have more of a fan base out there. But Laker fans are loyal. I don't think they'll switch over to that red and blue. I mean, there might be some.
Yeah, there might be some, but those ain't real Laker fans.
Exactly. I mean, would you switch over?
No, of course not, dude.
Exactly,
I don't even. Have you ever seen that video I put out last year?
Yeah, with your kid. And he had the Clippers jersey in his drawer.
Yeah, so I mean,
You threw that out like, no, man, we can't have that in.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that are listening right now, if you go to bulletin board material on Instagram, there's an old post where I caught my son. And I'm going through his drawers, and I catch him with some Clippers shorts, and I was kind of like, "What the? I don't allow this in my house, because my kids know it's a Laker household, and that's it." But the Zubac thing to me, honestly, it reeks of the same thing, which is the narrative on the Lakers is hate, hate, hate. That's all it is, man. It's everywhere you look, it's hate this. Oh, LeBron can't bring anybody in. Zubac's talking smack over here. Jeannie and the front office and the entire organization is a mess. And that's like the only thing that you get right now, right?
Yeah, and that's the only way the media is able to get stories out. And if they twist the story up, or they want to talk something else, they want to make it seem like someone said this, someone said that. They want to twist and turn every story.
No, yeah, for sure. But that's why, because we're the Lakers, man. We're the money makers. Everybody knows that we got to stay relevant, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. We have to stay relevant somehow. And unfortunately for us as Laker fans, we get a lot of the crap when the stories are told, because obviously we're usually on the bad end of that story, right? Yeah. But just kind of leading into another story that just kind of supports that narrative is, I don't want to say it supports the narrative, but it kind of falls in line with it. It was the Steph Curry came out earlier this week as well and gave his top 5 players, his all-time top 5 players. And I mean, honestly, I don't agree with his top 5, but I also know top 5s are it's opinion based, man. It's not factual, so I don't really take it too bad. I didn't think too much of it myself, but I think who did he have in his top 5?
He had MJ, Wilt Chamberlain, LeBron, Magic, and Shaq. It's not bad.
It's not bad, but I don't have Magic and I don't have Shaq in my top 5. I can't. I mean, they're all-time greats for sure, but I don't have them in my top 5. Magic, offensively, I can't put him in my top 5. Shaq had the potential to be top 5 in my opinion, but I mean, just knowing the fact that he really slacked off a lot of the time, he didn't put in the effort on the off seasons and all that. I can't give him the top 5. I can't give him the top 5.
You have a top 5 without a center in there, or you just have pure guards? Or
no, I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna have centers in there, I gotta have Kareem and I gotta have Wilt. I can't have Shaq over Kareem and Wilt. The way I look at it is, I kind of, one part is the success that they had in their careers, but the other part to me is just, if you face them up one-on-one, who are you going to take? To me, the biggest problem to me in this whole top 5 thing was the fact that Kobe was not in the top 5. Because to me, if somebody says, hey, you got Kobe versus Magic, who are you taking? I love them both.
I love them both too, but I'm taking Kobe.
Kobe all day. Premier defender in his heyday, premier offensive player, right? Yep. Yes, Magic made everybody better and all that stuff, but at the same rate, if I got to take one or the other, I'm going to take Kobe. I'm going to take Kobe every day. He was the only one looking for blood, and yes, Magic had his own high competition level, but I'm not going to. The only person I've ever seen compare to Kobe's level was Jordan. That's it. I've never, nobody else.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody as competitive as those two guys.
Let me ask you just one question. I don't want to get you in trouble here, but if you had if it had to be between LeBron and Kobe to be in that top 5,
Kobe.
Yeah.
It's, it's just, for me, that's who I have. I don't know who you have in your top 5, but
no, I mean, for as far as going deep into history, I didn't watch Wilt Chamberlain play. I don't know much about him. I know obviously he's one of the most dominant centers. Kareem as well. I didn't really watch him play that much, so I can't put them ahead of Shaq just because I watched Shaq and I knew he was the MDE. He was the most dominant ever. And so I got Shaq in there as one of them. And then I got MJ, that's number 2. And then I got Kobe, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Brown, number 4.
Okay.
And for the 5th guy...
See, that's where it gets kind of tricky.
It gets tricky, yeah. That's tough. I mean, I guess just off of Wilt Chamberlain's stats and what he brought, I would go Wilt Chamberlain. But I got 2 bigs in there. But, I mean, there's still... the best 5 that I know of, other than Will. I didn't really see him play, but his stats wise. But we can also go Bill Russell.
True, but Bill Russell offensively, it's kind of the Magic thing. Bill Russell defensively was an anchor, but offensively, I mean, his game wasn't to where I would deem top 5 level, right?
Yeah. Actually, did I say you had Magic in mind?
No, you did not say you had Magic.
Okay, so then let's throw Magic in there. So I got Shaq, Magic, Kobe, Bron, and Wilt.
Okay, that's not fair. I mean, I don't think anybody can really. I mean, well, I'm sure somebody can debate it, but
And MJ, right?
oh, eh. Dude, I just feel like right now this whole Nipsey thing's got me a little bit. It's had me out of whack, bro, since it happened. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to get my energy level up right now, but I just kind
Yeah,
of
no,
feel like it's tough. It's definitely
dude,
tough
I've
right now.
been so down for the last 3 days. Like the next day, I couldn't even work. I was all teary eyed. Like no lie, I was crying. Like I really shed tears over it. And like sucks.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. And like I said, my connection wasn't there that far, but I get it. I get it. I completely get it, especially when you have to you've dealt with things in your life that he's kind of helped you through. But kind of going into that whole thing and kind of going through difficult situations, that kind of leads perfectly into Mr. Alex Caruso, man. AC Fresh, Mr. AC Fresh, man. He's been tearing it up recently, and I found it funny because on Twitter recently we posted up that graphic with the stats between Rondo and him, right? And
Oh yeah, it
and
took off.
Yeah, it took off, but I saw a follower in there that was like, man, this is why Laker fans are a joke, because they're sitting here debating these types of issues. And no, I don't think many people are saying that Rondo is worse than Caruso, but I think it gives you a good perspective of where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean, personally for me, I mean, I'm taking Rondo, but AC Fresh has had a very nice. He's had a very nice little run here in the last 14 games or so. He's definitely made an improvement from last season to this season, because I've been a big fan of him. I've been calling him Ginobili 2.0 since I saw him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But his game is definitely improved. I know right now. I think I have to pull up the stat real quick, but I think not LeBron. Caruso is actually he wishes he was LeBron. He's hold on, let me pull it up real quick here. That's what she said. Hold on. So Alex Caruso is a plus 19.8 with his net rating differential right now, while Rajon Rondo is a negative 26.1. That's that's a huge difference, right?
Yeah, no, that's bad.
But here's my logic. Here's the logic, and here's why I don't think it's such a big deal. Because Rajon Rondo's been doing it for over a decade. He's been through it. He's been through the playoff runs. He's done the whole thing, right? He's been on bad teams. He's been on good teams. He's done the whole thing. Caruso still he's just trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to find a spot for himself in the NBA still. So right now, these last games, I can't imagine that Rajon Rondo, 10 plus years in, is like really hyped up to get in there and to do what he wants to do and sit there and rack up stats. And I don't think he really cares at this point,
Yeah. No, and I 100% agree with you. Caruso is balling for that next contract, whether it's going to be another two-way with the Lakers or whether it's another team that's going to pick him up. But I mean that 19 or 18 plus that he had, 22 plus, something like that. That's a huge difference from Rondo's, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, you can see it on when you're watching the game. You can see it. Rondo is just not playing good right now, and it is what it is. And I know, like you said, it's the end of the season, and you don't really care. And Caruso is trying, but I would still bring Caruso back next season, even if it's the 15th guy on the roster. But as far as Rondo, I would like him to come back as an assistant coach. I know he still wants to play, but and I know everybody respects him, and he's a big voice in the locker room. But I still would like to bring him back just as a coach. I don't think I want him back as a player, and I know Luke Walton, and I don't know if he's going to be back, but all the players like him, and LeBron retweeted one of his stats of his the other day, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, LeBron wants Rondo back. That means Rondo's coming back. So it's tough to say whether he's going to be back or not, but if you had to tell me you want to sign Rondo or Caruso, with what I'm seeing right now, I would actually go with Caruso, and that's just because of what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And Rondo had some good games throughout the season, especially in the first half of the season before he got injured and after he came back from the injury, but not enough to where I'm saying, oh, I want Rondo to be the backup behind Lonzo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's no way Rondo comes back as an assistant coach. I mean, unless he's planning on retiring, there's no damn way he had some good games for us, but I know, I think we talked about this earlier, but his whole stigma where he's playoff Rondo, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he doesn't show up for small games. He shows up for the primetime games and all that stuff. Yeah. And after seeing him for a season now, I can definitely agree with that. I think he kind of picks and chooses his spots because maybe he's older. He is older, obviously, but I think he's just a little bit wiser of where he picks and chooses his spots. But I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Caruso back. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to bringing it back. I wouldn't want him, though, as my secondary guy. If I'm going into next season, there's no way Caruso can be my second guy. He can't back up Zoe. Not at all.
No, not at all.
And bringing Rondo back to me is completely dependent on what other free agents we get. Because if Rondo's trying to come back with, a hefty payday or even anything close to it or anything beyond a minimum or anything at this point, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If it's going to cost us even a Jimmy Butler, I would say, okay, let's move on from Rondo. Let's look at some other options because there's plenty of other options out there too that maybe aren't the sexiest picks, but what's his face from the Spurs, point guard,
Patty Mills.
Yeah, Patty Mills, man, Patty Mills.
Oh yeah, dude's a baller.
Yeah, but even a Patty Mills type was exactly what we need. Lonzo's
that'd be perfect.
Yeah, Lonzo's going to get the heftier part of the minutes. You're going to have Bron in there to take over the playmaking. Ingram will be back next season. You'll have 3 ball handlers already. Yeah. Plus whoever else they bring in. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Caruso back, but I just can't. I've heard people saying, "Oh, he's got to be the backup point guard next year," but
no, not that far. I mean, like Greg said, he's one of those point guards where it's break in case of emergency, and that's the only reason why you bring him up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think he's gonna be a nice player, but his cap to me is gonna be a reserve point guard. That's it. Yeah. Worst case, he's a third stringer. Best case, he's your backup point guard.
Bring him back on a 2-way and just break in case of emergency. Bring him up for that third string. Yeah.
But again, people are giving him a lot of slack, and they're not giving him his credit, even though in the last 14 games he's been balling since he actually got some significant minutes, right? That kind of goes into the narrative that we were talking about. The Lakers are they're the belle of the ball, man. In the NBA, and you have the Lakers, and then you have 31 other teams that can't stand the Lakers, right? So when people say, "Oh, well, yeah, that's not true," and this and that, it's completely true. I mean, just go back to the CP3 trade when all of a sudden this trade goes down and you have a bunch of owners come. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch, but you have a handful of owners stepping into it just to butcher it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go into it now, the narratives this season, the D'Lo stuff, the LeBron can't bring anybody to LA to play with him. What? That is the craziest thing to me. That is dude. I literally went back and I started looking at old, and I'll read them to here. I'll read them to you. But so I went back and I actually started Googling like old Kobe Bryant articles because that was the narrative with Kobe. Oh, nobody wants to come play with him. Even though if you talk to players around the league, he was well respected, well liked. People looked at him as a mentor. A lot of guys. But dude, I found articles from. Let me see here. I have an article from 20, when is this from? I have articles from like 2010, 2015, where there was one specific article that was, let me see here. It was an article where from 2015, I believe, when Jordan Clarkson got traded, and they were asking about the difference between LeBron and Kobe.
Okay.
And he was talking about how, LeBron is more of he encourages you on the court and everything, but
right.
Kobe was the same way as far as pushing you to be better, but he went about it as more of a challenging way, right?
Yeah.
No slight, no nothing from that, right? Mm-hmm. But then there was another article that I saw from 2014, and this one was written in Deadspin, where it was like an anonymous NBA agents were saying that nobody wanted to play with Kobe, right?
Anonymous,
of course, right? Then you go back to 2015, where Jared Dudley dropped an article where he actually said most guys don't want to play with Kobe. Yeah, that's actually what he said exactly. He said most guys don't want to play with Kobe, exactly verbatim.
Oh, and they ran with that.
Yeah, and they ran with that, of course. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how much of that was Jared Dudley just being sour because the Lakers put an end to those Phoenix Suns runs.
Yeah,
a lot of the times. But to me, the narrative that's going around right now with LeBron can't bring anybody. LeBron doesn't want anybody here, or not that he doesn't want anybody, but nobody wants to play with him. The limelight's too toxic around him and all that stuff. I chalk that up to just haters.
Yeah.
That's right now when I hear all these, so-and-so is not coming here. Kawhi doesn't want to come here. I don't even care, man. Because if you look at all these narratives and you really just trace it back to who's the one winning with this narrative, it never comes back to the Lakers. It's always, who does Kawhi want to sign with? With the Clippers.
Yeah.
Who does Kevin Durant want to sign with? With the Brooklyn Nets, with the freaking New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. That is so absurd to me. All of these go back to the same thing, which is hate. Right?
Yeah. And it's not just players are saying that, or it's coming out that they don't want to play with LeBron or the narrative about that. Now the media is starting to hate on LeBron. I don't know if you've heard. Windhorse was saying that. Yeah, I know it's funny, right? He was saying that LeBron can't even get guys to star in Space Jam 2. He can't even close those deals.
What? But who cares? Who cares if he can't get anybody to Space Jam?
No, but you really believe that, bro? Like,
I mean, I can't believe that, dude. Because if LeBron's like, "Hey, bro, you want to be in this movie, and I'm about to get you locked up with a couple mil," I can't believe that a lot of these guys. I can't believe like Jimmy Butler is like, "I don't want to be on that." No, I can't even. But Steph Curry, no.
Wait till we get the full cast, and it's gonna be Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, all the guys that are rumored to come. Those are gonna be the guys that are gonna be in the movie.
Every single one of them. That's why they were probably practicing this offseason, right? Remember that picture that came out? That's probably why he was like, let's just get a little warm-up game for Space Jam 2. Which, by the way, I don't think I'm going to be watching Space Jam 2. At least not in theaters. Ooh. Yeah, man. I'm so tired of the recycling, Everything gets recycled, bro. And I hate I'm going to be real, man. I hate the fact that Kobe
wasn't Space Jam 2.
Yeah, he should have been in Space Jam 2.
I agree.
Gave LeBron Space Jam 3 or 4.5. But
no, Kobe would have been so good for Space Jam 2. He just would have had that personality to just kind of. He probably would have been mean to the Toon Squad, but he would have got them to defend that title. So, knowing that LeBron can't recruit guys to LA, right, or to Space Jam 2 or wherever he's recruiting them to, he seems to be doing just fine, grabbing guys for the shop and all this stuff, right? But but I just think that the narrative that's going around right now is just it's so easily spun that way because people either love or hate the Lakers. There's no in between with us, man. There's very few fans that are like, I don't care about the Lakers. No, it's either you're a Laker fan or you hate the Lakers. Yep. It's same thing with the Yankee brand. It's the same thing with who else can I think of right now? The Yankee brand, the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, perfect example. You hate them or you love them, But I'm done over it. I'm just done with it. And last week I was talking about the same thing. I'm just ready for this season to be over. I'm ready to see what deals we get done. I'm ready for the playoffs. I want to see some good basketball. I want to see something that matters at this point. At this point, it's just the playoffs, man. I know Michael Thompson's been jumping on and talking about, I wish there was another 80 games. Hell no. I do not want to see another 80 games of regular season Laker basketball. No more.
I can't, dude. I can't. Because at this point, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to get a story next week where Magic falls down 7 flights of steps holding on to Rob Pelinka's hand, and they both are now paralyzed. That's like the next story. That's like
really that's gonna be the next story.
And I'm knocking on wood everywhere because I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying that's like the trend that we've had. I think we'll be fine, man. I think we'll be fine. I just like I said, we need to get healthy. We need to pick up some pieces in the offseason, and we're straight. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. And speaking of Rob Pelinka, I don't know if you were able to catch ESPN Radio where Greg had the Rob Pelinka quote of when he brought in KCP, and he had Steve Mason and Ramona and Ben Lyons and George Sedano read it out loud and see if they can kind of spin it where it sounded likable and not kind of, distasteful, kind of boring, kind of dull. So I want to see if you want to give it a shot, if you want to read it out loud and see if you can make it likable.
Oh, if I can make anything likable, bro. What are you talking about?
I mean, you talk, but let's hear it.
Let's see. All right. So, all right. let me warm up my vocals real quick. All right. So if I'm reading this, essentially I'm reading this in my own perspective, right? I guess.
Yeah. So you're the GM of the Lakers, and you're introducing KCP. So let's see how you would read it out to the media and to the fans.
Okay. All right. First of all, I need to look like Rob Pelinka somehow. So I don't. Maybe this is this where we bring in David? David, I need you to go ahead and Photoshop Rob's face onto me right now.
Yeah, Rob Lowe or Rob Pelinka?
Either one. Is there a difference?
Yeah, right.
Either one, right? All right. So I guess I'll start as often as I do with a story. I would venture to guess there's people in the room that are familiar with the stories in the book of Genesis, where there was a time when the Israelites were wandering in the desert, and all of a sudden bread came down to heaven. That's kind of what it feels like today to have KCP join.
Not bad. No, that was not bad. I mean, it sounded better than Rob's a little bit. It was okay.
I know Rob gets a lot of crap from the stories. I enjoy his stories. To me, like when he starts going into the story, it's almost like the pace, the tone that he has to me is very it's very soothing to me.
Yeah.
To me, but
Okay.
not everybody, right? But
Let me give you my shot and see if it kind of gives you some
Okay.
soothing type of.
let's see.
All right, here we go. I guess I'll start as I often do with the story. I would venture to guess there's people in the room that are familiar with the stories in the book of Genesis, where there was a time when the Israelites were wandering in the desert and all of a sudden bread came down from heaven. That's kind of what today feels like for us to have KCP join.
So, what do you take from that passage? Like, what do you think he was trying to say?
That KCP was sent from heaven and he was bread.
For what? For what? To what? To feed the pigeons?
I mean, I don't know if he meant KCP was sent from heaven. Maybe KCP was sent from Clutch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe that's
Right.
Oh, there you go. Heaven. Got it. Quotations. That's what we're missing here. Dude, I mean, honestly, he was sent from heaven in a way, I guess. I mean, I know Laker fans don't like it, but without KCP, is there a LeBron?
Yeah, that's a good question. He's probably part of the package.
He reminds me of when Steph Curry signed with Under Armour. And I read a story. I forget where I read the story, but there was a story where what's his face from
Steph Curry, right?
No,
brother?
not Seth Curry.
Oh yeah, Bazemore.
Kent Bazemore. So he reminds me of the story that I recall where the reason Steph Curry signed with Under Armour was really because of Kent Bazemore. So I guess Under Armour wasn't that big of a brand at the time and all that stuff. So the way that we're kind of going about it, and I might have this wrong, but from what I gauged from this article that I read a couple years back, a few years ago, they were saying how Under Armour really went with lower level players and just kind of started giving them a bunch of swag. And I guess the objective for these players was to really hand out this swag to bigger end guys. So Kent Bazemore, when he was with the Warriors, actually was the connection for Steph Curry with Under Armour.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know the whole snag or the whole reason that he switched over, or one of the reasons he switched over was because they called him Stephen Curry or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of Steph Curry. Yeah, that's a big problem. But yeah, so that to me is kind of like the KCP thing to me. It's like, everything that Detroit Pistons fans warned us about KCP was exactly correct, dude. He's a hero ball guy. The best time to play KCP is when he's got a green light and there's nothing to stop him.
Like right now.
Like right now. All of a sudden, he's just playing out of his mind.
Playing for that contract.
Yeah, but what contract is he going to play for, though? I mean, at this point, if you're you got to be desperate to give KCP a big contract next year.
Yeah, no, I could see someone like the Memphis Grizzlies or someone giving him like a 2-year, $20 million deal or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But I think this last year was probably his biggest payday. And I know this last contract that we gave him was probably a little bit of a thank you for to kind of linking us up with Bron. Yeah. But he's never going to see another $20 million a year contract.
Right.
Never, unless something dramatically happens with this cap. But I don't know, man. It's just the season's coming to an end. It's just kind of wearing down. I think a lot of Laker fans, I mean, if you're still watching the games right now, hey, props to you. It's hard to watch. It's really, really hard to watch. Like right now we're recording and the actual Warriors are probably beasting up the Lakers at this point. Let's see what the score is right now. Yeah, so like right now the Warriors are actually just taking it to the Lakers. They're up 106-85 in the fourth quarter. So
yeah, 20-point game. We figured.
Yeah, I mean that's what we gauge, right? At this point, it's just really more about player development and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. You know who I really would have liked to develop?
Who?
Zubac. Zubac, man. Oh man, that one hurt, dude. That I think out of everything this season, that one might have hurt the most to me, even though it's not a big deal. But
yeah,
but I think the good thing is that the season's coming to an end. I think this Tuesday, right? So
Tuesday, yep, last game.
That'll be the post-game show. That'll be the last post-game show for Mr. Gregorio Bergman, and we're just gonna have to wrap it up. And the good thing for Showtime Forum fans is that we are gonna have plenty of content during the summer. We're gonna have a couple, recorded. We're gonna have a couple things, a couple ideas that we're playing with right now that we're gonna be coming out with. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy that stuff. So we got the podcast, obviously, that we're gonna be putting out, regardless if we're not gonna be doing post game. But we're also gonna have other little things, little pieces of content for you that we're gonna be doing. That should be fun. So we're gonna try to keep it loose and we're gonna try to keep it fun for Laker fans while we build this team next season. But At this point, for you, for me, I mean, I think at this point it's a good time to sign off right now because
let's do it.
Yeah, man. So, from everybody at the Showtime Forum platform, for me, for Audel, we just want to thank you guys for listening. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to post games. If you are, we want to thank you guys for frequenting our platforms. If you're on IG, if you're on Twitter, whatever you're on, we appreciate it because I know a lot of people don't think that this stuff takes. Ooh, what is that? That's a nice shirt, man. That is a nice shirt. Where can I get one of those?
You can pre-order it soon. Coming soon. Very soon.
Oh, okay. Well, how soon? Hold on. Well, let me get on the computer real quick. All right. Oh, well, look. I think I just got my own.
Oh! Got it.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you guys, for those of you guys that are on the audio right now, obviously you can't see it, but we're both happen to be rocking the Showtime Forum t-shirts that we just put out with Golden Knights Fire logo. But I know Greg's mentioned it on postgame as well, but if you guys want to cop one of these Showtime Forum shirts, just DM either the Instagram page or the Twitter page. Let us know what size you want, and we'll kind of get one for you. But just from everybody here at the Showtime Forum, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. If you're listening to us, we do get a small percentage of funds through our sponsorships on Anchor. So if you can listen to the podcast, please do. Please subscribe. Drop us reviews, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, Google, whatever it's on, Anchor, YouTube. We don't care. Just give us some feedback. You want to tell us we suck? Tell us we suck. But if you do, leave your name, leave your address, because I got a guy named David that might have to pay you a visit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy's tough, too. So be careful. You hear him? You hear this, Donnie? You hear this, Donnie? But yeah, man, we're going to sign off now. We'll catch you guys next week, hopefully with some better news. From everybody, again, from Showtime Forum. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. You can catch me on thebulletinboardmaterial.com. You can catch Audeezy on Twitter at Audeezy with 2 E's _ So Audeezy _ Or you can catch us both on the Showtime Forum. You can catch us on the Showtime Forum platforms as well. Audeezy obviously runs the Twitter. I run Instagram. So you can always catch us on there if you got any thoughts, any comments, any ideas, whatever you guys want. Remember, this platform is for you. It's for you. It's by us, but it's for you. So we're effing up. Let us know. It's nothing different from all the other crap that we get online anyway. So, but yeah, man, everybody, thank you again. Appreciate it very, very much so.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys next week, all right?
Peace.